Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode in Motorsport International in Romanian Culture Cars. My name is Baicu Vlad-Andrei. I'm here with Paul Charsley. Hello, Paul.
Hello, how are
Paul
you?
Charsley, sporting manager in the heart of racing, the team who will compete in hypercar in World Endurance Championship next year, will tell us a
hmm
couple of secrets about this amazing project, and of course, a couple of secrets about his motorsport career. Let's say how he started motorsport career. Of course, the people who convinced him to start motorsport career and other stuff like that. Paul, let's
Yeah.
start with a little describe about you.
About me. Okay, yeah. So I'm the sporting manager of the Heart of Racing team. Been doing that since 2020. Um, Ian James kind of started the team with Gabe Newell, who's the benefactor of the team. And Ian's just been a good friend of mine from years and years ago. I spotted for him at Daytona. We raced together a number of years ago, and we worked as fellow instructors. So we've always been good friends. And when he started this Aston Martin project, or when the project started, I was kind of on board before the Aston Martin thing on. I was part of the conversation of, well, should we go with Aston Martin? Should we go with this manufacturer? And Aston Martin just seemed like a great fit because in the US there was no Aston Martin racing, so we like to be a little different. And so we went with the Aston Martin, and it's grown and grown ever since. Originally, we started off with just one car in IMSA, and now we've got cars in racing in Europe. We've got the WEC team, and we've got the IMSA and SRO teams here. So we've got Aston Martins all over the place parked.
And it's gonna be a good question to start with. If I'm not mistaken, you driving in 24-hour series with Mercedes, not with Aston Martin. What do you choose Mercedes for 24-hour series?
Yeah, it was a better fit. If you notice, there's actually no Aston's racing in 24 hours. It was to do with the rules and the package and the competitiveness of, some championships. They have their rules set where maybe it's not ideal for the Aston, and maybe the tire wasn't right. I think at the beginning it was that the tire didn't really work with that car. But it was the Mercedes was something that people understood, and he'd run in that series under that tire, and it was really a vehicle to give some of our younger drivers some experience. So it was an easy button kind of thing, working with SPS from the very beginning with the Mercedes, and that's been an easy thing to do. We've done 3 or 4 races a year with them. Yeah, so it just kind of started with that the vehicle wasn't right, the Aston wasn't right for it, and we had some good friendships with SPS, and they were Mercedes experts, and that was a great way to get young drivers in there. The Mercedes is a very user-friendly car, certainly for new drivers as well.
Ah, okay, okay. It's gonna be a little surprise to see a Mercedes. Of course, your team, the Heart of Racing, competing only with Aston Martin. I can say is
Yeah,
the first. I can say the first customer team with Aston Martin who compete in a lot of competition. So you
yeah,
competing in GT4 America, you GT4 America, GT America, GT
yep,
World Challenge. No, I believe not GT World Challenge. IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. Of course, competing in 24-hour series. And now,
yeah,
guys, you select hypercars,
yes,
one of the most challenging category, if I'm not mistaken, for 2 years, because a lot of
yeah,
manufacture will coming from year to year, like I say, because probably you see the internet and of course the sources of the news tell the World Endurance Championship is being so much competitive as a manufacturer. Tell me
yeah.
how hard is to choose to compete in hypercar. What was the point? Like I
The
said.
point, I mean, when if you remember, the Aston Martin was actually the first car that was supposedly going to be a hypercar in the series. But then, with the takeover and transfer of the ownership of the team of Aston Martin itself, it became kind of like a bit too more complicated than they wanted to take on at that moment. So it's always been on the back burner, certainly for us. You know, um, being involved in Aston Martin, it became like, okay, well, how about, are you going to think about doing the hypercar? And they were like, no, we're not really going to progress with this because everything changed. But as hypercar became more and more popular, it became more and more compelling to get back in it. So I think Ian and Lawrence, had a few conversations. Lawrence Stroll, the owner of Aston Martin, had a few conversations on the phone, and it became that this was the right time to try and resurrect this project. We've done a lot with Aston Martin, had a lot of success, so they were very comfortable with having us being a part of that process. and Multimatic were already in the initial design phase with the original one. So it just everything just kind of clicked at the right time. And Hypercar is going crazy, right? I mean, like a lot of motorsports, and it made sense for Aston Martin to jump back in. It certainly made sense for us because we wanted to do it anyway. Who doesn't want to do that? And you know, we want to progress, and the progress from GT cars is obviously into the prototype arena. So it was the next step for us. So yeah, it just everything clicked at the right time, and it's a pretty exciting project. More than one entity is involved. It's not just a Ferrari and the Porsche developing it. It's us, it's Multimatic and Aston working as a group to actually build and design this car, and then eventually run the cars in both WEC and in IMSA.
And of course, like I say, a good question, of course, because we'll see you guys next year in the World Endurance Championship.
Yeah.
The Heart of Racing have a plans to compete in Formula One to become a second team for Aston Martin.
No, no, you never say never because, as I said, we started off 4 years ago with one car in IMSA and we've progressed to this point. So I'm never going to say never, but definitely hasn't been talked about yet. Formula One, you know, a lot of people go to Formula One and a lot of people fail badly, you know, even with the right intentions. And a lot of people, you know, like Dave Richards, the Pro Drive, etc., held back in getting involved in it, knowing that it's a difficult situation to do that in Formula One, and it's really hard. Like the Haas team, to be successful, they want to go out. They're used to winning races in all the series they run on. In Formula One, that's not even possible right now. So we definitely like winning races. So unless we can do that, we probably wouldn't even think about it.
Ah, all right, all right. Of course, you need a lot of money because it's
Yeah,
very important to invest in development and of course and upgrading motorbike. Excuse me, the cars, the
yeah,
car
yeah.
racing, the
It's a
prototype.
big undertaking, and yeah. And as I said, it's really hard to get the ultimate success. Up until this year in Formula One, you know, barely anyone but Red Bull was winning, right? Or this year was a bit different. Other teams were able to win, but it's very difficult to get to that point. And the other forms of racing, sports car racing, GT racing, you know, the SRO stuff is something that's achievable in a short amount of time as long as you've got the right people behind you.
Yes, of course. And tell me, as a sporting manager, because probably was a couple of people who watching our interview, and of course he will asking you what do you recommend for them. What do you recommend for a sporting manager rookie, like I say, or maybe the rookie next generation to start with? Which competition, which teams, which events
Yeah.
to start with?
Well, sporting manager, it's an all-encompassing job, and it's really touched on everything I've done in my life, right? From racing cars, I ran a racing school with Formula 3 cars. I ran a business. You get to deal with people. You have to learn the competition. You have to learn the strategies. So all of those things kind of came into one place. I'd never been a sporting manager till Ian asked me, and you know, being conscientious as well, being honest, is a good thing too. You want to do things for the right reason and treat people well. So that's what I've always tried to do. As I said, it's kind of fun on a race weekend. It really ticks all the boxes from my side, what I'm involved in, dealing with the drivers, talking about the track, getting the car to be better, the strategy during the races, organizing the people, making sure everyone's got what they want to do their best job. You know, many decades of different things kind of all come to that point, and it's you know, I wake up every morning just extremely happy with how it's worked out so far. It's a lot of fun, and I like being competitive as a race car driver. You know, you want to win, and I still get that same adrenaline push. Me as a sporting manager, right? It's about putting the team together. Maybe it's even more complicated and more satisfying than just being a driver in the seat, being successful.
Yes, yes, and that's for sure. It's very, very important to communicate with staff, communicate with drivers, communicate with brands, with
Yeah,
sponsors to understand exactly what motorsport is talking about because it's very,
yeah.
very important to communicate. Now, Paul, let's start to discuss a serious phrase, a serious question. Like I say, in my
Okay.
country, in Romania, the motorsport is being promoted by two phrases: "Street is not circuit," and "Champions are in circuit, not in the street." To tell us people for the first time who watching my interview, people who watching me already interview know exactly what I'm talking about. In your
Okay.
opinion, what do we have to do to convince people to come on events and track days, and what can we do to stop street racing?
Stop street racing. It's an ideology, right? As I said, the you go. That's a really tough question. You've got to change the mindset that racing on the street is the ultimate adrenaline, because driving on a racetrack is the ultimate, because it's the blend of skill, the vehicle you're driving. Um, it's a road that is repeatable, so you can keep going and going. When you're on the street, there's so many different variables that can get people killed and hurt, and innocent people as well as the people participating, right? And there's no reason to do that. There's so many different avenues you can go that are more inspirational. When I drive on the street, I drive very calmly because I get to drive on the track. And I understand that driving on the street will never, ever match the adrenaline and skill level you have to drive on the track fast. Because there's no demographic, there's no data when you're driving this. You can feel like, oh, I went through that corner real fast and I beat this guy who had a car with half the horsepower, and that makes me great. That's not what makes you great. Going against equal competition on an equal track, equal service, and definitely not getting innocent people involved in it. That's the most crucial part of it, really. Now, to
Yes.
encourage people, you just I don't know. People have to put on events, but you got to change the ideology, and the events should take care of themselves. I used to do a lot of track days with people, and once they did them, they realized how different it was from driving on the road, and what the skills and how much more fun it was not to be worried about someone pulling out in front of you and crashing, where the safety is still there. No one wants to die. There's no beauty in that. So live on, drive more, drive fast, but do it in a safe environment.
Yes, and of course, I want to tell people, if you want to come on events, to come on track day, and of course feel the adrenaline or feel the rush, whatever you want to tell. Check the local tracks, check the competition, check the teams, check the drivers, check everything
Yeah,
to know exactly what happened in your local state, like I say, because in the United States of America we have a lot of local tracks, including the NASCAR tracks, because in every state of the United States of America we have a NASCAR track. But of course,
yeah,
in few states they have circuit on other spec competition, except drag racing. Drag racing has been in every part of the states in United
sure
States of
is.
America.
Yeah, yeah. I've only done that a little bit. Not as much fun as road racing, though.
Ah, okay, okay, okay.
But it's fun.
Okay.
But it's still better than street racing.
Yes, yes, that's for sure. Every competition is better than street racing. Every
Yes. Yeah.
competition.
Yeah. Yeah.
Paul, thank you. Before we end the interview, I want to say thank you so much to accept my invitation, guys.
Yeah.
If you want to see how it goes with the Heart of Racing, or maybe with Paul Chesley, I will let you the social media in the description down below to follow, and of course to ask Paul Chesley or maybe the Heart of Racing a couple of questions about the teams, about the events,
Yeah.
about the competition, about the tracks. I don't know, drivers, whatever you want to ask. Use the social media in the description down below, or maybe in this video in the comment section down below you can have a Q&A session with Paul, and of course Paul, when he have time, he will respond all the questions
Absolutely.
to understand, to make people understand what is motorsport, because it's very very
Yeah.
important to promote
Yeah.
motorsport. And of course, everyone is
And
welcome.
I always encourage when we're at the track, people just come up and say hello. We're busy, but I'm always happy to meet people and know that they're fans, and show them a little bit of what the cars are all about, for sure.
Yes, 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 exactly. Before we end the interview, Paul, a message for fans, for the Heart of Racing fans, for endurance fans, for IMSA fans, World Endurance Championship fans, and others. Tell us a message.
Well, I mean, the beauty thing is, we race for a charity which helps children, hospitals, cardiac mainly, but generally, it's a beautiful way to go racing. We're not selling widgets, we're not selling this or that. When we win, money gets transferred and helps the children hospital, which is a great way to go racing. So every time we're out there racing, it's for more than just competitive reasons. So we love doing that. It's a great way to support the team, is to donate to that charity. But even if you can't, wear the gear, talk about the program. We're nearly racing everywhere at this point, and we're very much a family team. People come, they don't leave, and we're always there. And certainly our driver development program with our female program is blossoming now. Some of our female drivers, are jumping in the GT3. We're all about bringing people up, whether it's from the driver's side or the mechanic side or an engineer, so if you're a budding engineer or a budding sporting manager, for instance, feel free to contact us. We're always happy to talk to people about racing because that's what we love.
Yes, 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 and of course, let's see the 2025 how it goes because it's been a challenging year for you guys. GT4
Yeah.
America, GT America, IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship, World Endurance Championship, maybe a couple of 24-hour series race because
Yeah,
why
for
not?
sure. Yeah,
I
Bathurst.
believe.
We're going to go to Bathurst as well. Yeah.
In Bathurst, that I want to
Yeah.
say you will compete in Bathurst, more panorama, excuse me,
Yeah.
12 hours race. So it's gonna be another challenge for the Heart of Racing guys, and of
Hmm.
course the Heart of Racing, the Heart beat us for the Heart of Racing,
For
like
sure
a
it
little
does.
a
Yeah.
little catchphrase in the final of the interview. Paul, before we end it to make an outro, do you have to say other things to do? Do you have other something to say?
Other things to say? No, I mean, just if you're a motorsports fan, go to the races. If you're driving street racing, go to a track and get the real feel of what a racing driver is all about. There's so many assets to a race team, from engineers, and I would just encourage people, if you're really into motorsports, there's a way to get in and work in motorsports,
And of course, a lot of
and
competition, a lot of competition like GT America, like Champ Car Endurance Race, like World
yeah,
Racing League. So it's a lot of competition in United
so
States.
many things, so many things. It's great sport to be involved in. We love it, obviously. Yeah, just come out to any of the races, and if you're out in the races, come by and see us for sure.
Yes, yes, yes. Guys, thank you so much to watching my interview with Paul Charsley, sporting manager in the Heart of Racing. If you want, guys, to come on Motorsport International to tell us your story, it's very easy. I will send an invitation to Paul, for Paul, excuse me, to invite other people for Motorsport International. So if you are to interest, contact Paul. After that, Paul contact me and we'll set a day and time to tell us your story, your results, your achievements, and other stuff like that because it's very, very important to communicate with people who grown up the motorsport community, and of course everyone is welcome to join us in our community to finish the interview in style. So thank you so much, Paul. Let's see the
Yeah,
2025 how it goes. Guys, thank you so much to watching another episode in Motorsport International. Who is the next person? We don't know, but Paul have an invitation to invite other people. I try to find other people to tell us the story, events, and other stuff like that. Let's see how it goes in 2025. Guys, until next time, remember, street is no circuit, you are the best, and let's go racing, vroom!